Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and today we're going to pressure cook and can old laying hens. Here is the remaining of our old laying hen flock. I've got my my old pressure canner here, and I've put in about a gallon of water, and I have an old sweet potato, some heritage carrots, an onion, and some garlic from our garden. We're going to drop that in there, and we're going to get our vegetables in here. Yes, these vegetables have been cleaned. I just didn't peel them. Look at these beautiful carrots. One of the beautiful things about this is after this is all cooked, I'll be able to give all this stuff, the leftover cooked stuff, to the pigs. Okay, so one of the things, wow, that must be the rooster.
That's the rooster. He's big.
One of the things, I may have to do another pressure cooker full. One of the things about laying hens, people don't like to cook old laying hens because they're as tough as old rubber boots. What I'm going to do is I've put all my stuff in here, and I'm going to bring this up to pressure. I'm going to let it vent for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to cook these at 10 pounds pressure for 90 minutes. After that, I'm going to get Papa to strain them and put the broth in the meat and the stuff in the fridge overnight so that it can be separated and canned. The rest of this video will be footage from the last time I did this because I have the footage, I just didn't have the opening process, okay? Okay, after we pressure cooked the chickens, Howie lifted the canners and we put it through a strainer. And here's all our broth with the fat on top. And here is the chicken after I have taken out all the bones and excess vegetables. All right, this is seasoned chicken fat. And it is really good for frying. I mean, if you don't want to use lard, this stuff is awesome for like frying potatoes, for frying. It's called schmaltz. This stuff's gold. You don't throw it away. You save it for frying. Here is our 22-quart pressure canner ready. It's got a tray in the bottom, or a rack in the bottom, and it's got about 3 inches of water in it. We can add some as we go. Here is our warmed up broth. Our lids have been simmered, and I have gone ahead and packed these 2, 4, 6, 8, these 10 jars full of meat to 1 inch from the top. Now folks, I am not going to salt this because my broth is seasoned. So now we're going to pour in the broth to just a hair over 1 inch from the top, because once we debubble, that will go down. I'm just going to take, always use wood or plastic for debubbling, never ever metal. We're going to debubble really, really well. And then we're going to take our clean paper towel. I'm just going to dip it in the lid water, and we're just going to wipe the rim of our jars. I'm missing my handy dandy little magnet thing, so I have one from my fridge here that has a little handle on it, so we'll just use that. We're going to screw this down fingertip tight, which means as tight as you can get with your fingertips, but not wrenching it, not a muscle man, and not a machine. And we're going to put this in our canner. All right, when these are all in the canner, we'll be back. Okay, now we're going to fill up our jar, the rest of our pints, with hot broth. Now sometimes I dehydrate my broth, but sometimes you have recipes where you're going to need chicken broth. And you may not want to have to rehydrate it. So we just go ahead and can up our broth. Now this gets canned as if it was meat because it is a meat product, okay? We're going to get these jars filled and in the canner, and we'll be back. Okay, now we're going to put our lid on our pressure canner. We're going to let this come up to temperature until this vents a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes. Okay, our vent has been venting a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes. Now we're going to put our weight on it. Once this jiggles, we're going to start our timing, and we are going to process these for 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's 75 minutes. And if it was quarts, it would be 90. If you were doing half pints, it would still be 75 minutes. If you live 1,000 feet above sea level, you would or more, you would process these with a 15-pound weight. Okay, so once this starts to jiggle vigorously, we'll be back. Right. Now I'm going to turn my canner down, or my burner down, to between medium and maximum, closer to medium. And we're going to start timing because we've just had our first vigorous jiggle. And we're going to set our timer for 75 minutes. Here is that gentle rocking motion that we're looking for. It can go a little more vigorous, but you don't want it. You want it turned down enough that it's not going to go psh. Okay, like it's been 75 minutes. And when this cools down completely, we will take it out of the canner. Okay folks, here is what I got out of 5 laying hens and 1 rooster. Now if you notice, aside from the fact that this is still bubbling, these jars are not full of meat. These are 1-liter jars, which is a little bit bigger than a quart. The reason I did this is because I didn't want to can the extra broth separately. So I filled these jars half full with nice big chunks of chicken, and then I topped them up with broth, and I canned them for 90 minutes at 10 pounds pressure. Isn't that beautiful? These will be wonderful. All you have to do is heat it up, add rice. This is great for soups, stews, casseroles, you name it, you got it, and it is tender as butter. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, don't ever let anyone tell you that old laying hens are too tough to eat. That's what pressure cookers and canners are for. Take care, bye-bye.